Introduce, my name is Ochan&Eri. You can call me Ochan or Glossophobia, okay? From the Faculty of Psychology, University, 17 August 1945. In here, I will present about glossophobia. Do you know what glossophobia? Glossophobia comes from the language Greek meaning glos is tongue and phobos means fear or dread. Fear of public speaking in the language of psychology is commonly known as glossophobia. People who experience fear of public speaking or glossophobia tendency to experience confusion in front of a small crowd as well as large. Fear of public speaking categories as social phobia or type of anxiety disorder seen in one or two social or familiar situations with the term specific social phobia. People experience fear talk tend to get confused easily even in small front crowds. Their voice becomes weak and their bodies begin to tremble. They may be even sweating, blushing, and feeling palpitated. They are worried easily before and even think to give a speech or interact with people. Neglecting the opportunity like the one that triggers the group's attention to an individual discomfort, nausea, and getting nervous fast. Okay, there are factors that affect glossophobia itself. There are four factors. The first is a biological factor, namely when speaking in front is an activity that less fun and scary, then fear and anxiety will arise. Second, there is a negative thinking factor. The emergence of negative thought, the one who afraid is worth that speaking in public is scary. Second, thoughts that are too overacting to the situation negative environment of the situation social. Third, there is anxious thinking. Fourth, negative thought that cause a feeling of lack able to overcome difficulties. Fifth, focus on aspect of negative of the situation and ignore the things that positive. Okay, the third is avoidant behavior factor. The factor is when the anxiety appears, someone tends to respond in order to escape the condition. Okay, lastly, is an emotional factor. This factor is a scary situation will show a psychological response such as fear, anxiety when public speaking. Okay. Then there are the symptoms of glossophobia. There are three symptoms of glossophobia. First, emergence of anxiety. Severe anxiety appears or usual on the mind when communicate with any group. The second, avoid events that focus on attention group, and the third is feeling sad, nauseous, or feeling of panic. Okay, next, there is a healing process for glossophobia is Individual counseling can carry out using various approaches related to the problem of glossophobia which experienced by the consulate. One approach counseling guidance that can be used in the counseling process is an approach narrative therapy or narrative counseling. Narrative counseling itself is a system provided by the counselor to help the counselee in improving the counselee's saturate stories communication disorder, anxiety, and distrust of him for it in more self-stories positive by changing the point of view and better perception. In solving glossophobia, we'll emphasize on changing the mindset and student point of view by separating problem with the counselee and make the counselee aware of the ability public speaking will use to reframe experience life through a new story in student themselves because in the process of thinking they will form an action. In making a new stories about him cannot be separated from good use of language capable of give a good impact on one's mind. Language play a role important in social interactive activities. All kind of experience and activities individual will be constructed and interpreted in language form. So that all form individual behavior can be changed through language change. To reduce students who experience glossophobia, it is necessary to apply positive word easy on because positive words are words of support, happiness, enthusiasm, optimism, and positive impact on human. With more positive words will be stop negative words that can self-destructive like pessimist, rude, and tend to blame themselves so that someone will be able to motivate and convince himself and even others. Okay. Then there are stages in narrative counseling. Namely, there are three third stages of destruction. First, the stage of being constructed is carried out by listening to be stories told by counselee. Listen to stories. The counselee is actively one of the most important indicators so that the counselor feels that counselor care about him. The constructed stage can be done by giving problem name, externalization, and identify unique outcomes. Then the second is the stage of strengthening the new story, namely in writing a new story step that can be done with story reinforcement technique, connecting hope before and in the future. And lastly, there is support for the counselor's new story, namely the new story that was created by the counselor needs to be given a support from a counselor to that the counselor is more capable and believer in success of new story newly made, which carried out at this stage is invite group witness outside group reflection. Okay, thank you. So many presentation for me. I thank you for watching this video. See you again, guys. Bye bye.